gave a video on something that I really want to talk about. So as you can tell by the title, darling, this is gonna be something that I really enjoy talking about, really, because it's all up in my aura. This is spirituality is all up in me. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the first video, and I'll leave my comments towards the end, darling. So let's go.
I'm talking to my spiritual babies only. If you ain't spiritual, get the fuck off this video. So when we hexing Donald Trump, when are we doing it? When? Cause I'm telling y'all, if we don't do something, it's gonna get real fucking ugly. It's already ugly, but it's gonna get uglier. So when are we hexing him? When are we coming together as a collective, and what are we doing? Because y'all worried about hexing y'all motherfucking ex-boyfriends and baby daddies and shit. Y'all need to be hexing the motherfucker that's fucking us up. So what the fuck are we doing? Like, this is a situation where, yes, I choose violence. I do. I choose violence. And I think we should hex this motherfucker. Like, where's my real root workers at for real? Like, come on now. It's time to come to the front. This is what they was talking about when it was going to be time for us to fight. Come on. Come on.
Donald Trump, aka Bunker Boy, he's an energy vampire. And this is why I will never do any sort of hexing towards him. When you send a hex to Trump, and it doesn't even matter if it's a hex, it could be also a protection spell. It doesn't matter, because the thing is that it's not going directly to Trump, it's going to his egregore. Any celebrity, any big idea, any big organization, it has a life force of its own. In Western occultism, we call it an egregore. When enough people focus their energy, their thoughts on something, it forms into its own life form. And like all life forms, it's neutral, right? It just wants to survive. It wants to eat, it wants to grow bigger and stronger, and it wants to live. Trump's egregore is absolutely massive. It's like this humongous dragon coiled around him. And he feeds it with the energy that you're giving to him. In fact, his Twitter account is one big pile of energy vampirism. Trump wants you big mad. That hex that you send Trump, it's like a big juicy steak dinner for his egregore. You're just making Trump more powerful.
If you don't believe that what we're experiencing right now in the world of politics in the United States of America is spiritual, let this show you how seriously the spirits of darkness, the kingdom of darkness, is taking this upcoming election. Listen to this. So this person wrote, would today be a good day for a freezer spell? It was probably going to be against Trump is what the full thing would have said probably. This person says, I think it was 90 days ago, but listen to this. Some other witches have mentioned that doing spells directly against Trump are not as effective as we might hope, as he seems to have some kind of protection around him. A freezer spell against Project 2025 would likely be useful, but I wouldn't give the Cheeto any more attention right now. He hates to be ignored, right? LOL. Look, it says, a lot of people are taking the opportunity to do protection and uplifting kind of spells to help Kamala and the Democrats rather than attacking the other side.
Witches report their spells against Trump aren't working. He has a shield. Despite witches' efforts to block Donald Trump's political comeback through spells and hexes, their rituals seemingly failed as he has now been re-elected president. Some witches claim Trump is protected by a spiritual shield, possibly strengthened by prayers, rendering their magic ineffective. Others suggest focusing on empowering his remarks opponents rather than targeting him directly. The rise of witchcraft on social media has sparked trends, but for Trump, it appears neither spells nor chance could stop his remarks' return to the White House.
Hey Witch Talkers, I've seen a lot of you talking about deciding to hex Donald Trump, and I'm here to tell you, don't do it. I have known several people who have attempted to do such a thing, and it turns out it backfires every time. Why does this happen? Because believe it or not, the American government actually does have some protection. Yes, the US government has attempted to weaponize ESP with a project called Project Stargate that dates back into the 1970s. Attempting to hex a leader like this is a huge undertaking that even the most advanced witches don't succeed in. Try focusing on something smaller like a local police chief, or maybe a specific person you saw online who was hurting a civilian. Don't go for the big people. They have a lot of power behind them that you cannot see. Be safe, be smart, and stay alive.
This message is for the witches of TikTok. Trump is turning us everywhere but loose.
Hi love, Witch here. Here's why hexing Trump may actually not be a good idea. Have you ever heard of an egregore? An egregore is an autonomous entity created by the collective thoughts, feelings, and intentions of a large group of people, often sharing a common purpose or belief. A family, a country, a political party can create an egregore unintentionally or intentionally, and for better or for worse, depending on what thoughts are used to create it. Covens often create intentional egregores. These entities can protect their group from magic, hide their secrets. Now, I believe Dump has an egregore, intentional or unintentional, not sure. Because this entity is autonomous, its goal is survival. So to stay alive, it needs our attention. The more it's fed, the stronger it becomes, the more protection he has. The only way to weaken this entity is by dismantling the collective belief system that sustains it. The group consciousness that created it needs to disengage and no longer feed it energy. If enough people in the group that created it change their thoughts and beliefs, this will weaken it. But because so many people love him and so many people hate him, it's hard to know what started this egregore to begin with. And more than likely, when you hex him, the egregore is the one that takes the hits. And more than likely, that energy feeds it. So my fellow witches, be careful and think twice before hexing him. And just because I'm not sure how this will do, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Hex Trump. That's what a lot of witches are saying. Hex Trump. Let's use magic to hex Trump. Let's use magic to curse Trump. And this reminds me, back in 2019, 2020, a lot of witches were also hexing Trump. Remember? This was an entire movement. It was hashtag Hex Trump. It was hundreds of thousands, if not millions maybe, of witches doing ritual after ritual for like months at a time to hex Trump. Now let me ask you, did it work? Hexing Trump, did it work? Or did Trump have the most glorious political comeback in American history? Hex Trump, did it work? Or did Trump not only win the electoral vote, but also win the popular vote by a fucking landslide? Hex Trump, did it work? Or did Trump receive a mandate from the American people so that he's more popular now in 2024 than he was back in 2019, 2020 when these rituals by all these witches was happening? I was part of one of these Hex Trump rituals. I was at a bookstore and it was like over 20 witches, us collectively doing a Hex Trump ritual. And we weren't the only group of witches doing these rituals. It was so many people over so much time hexing Trump. And did it work? I don't know, guys. I can't help but think that instead of being hexed, Trump, he just seems blessed. He seems blessed. And so, faced with the outcome, I can't help but think that best case scenario, nothing happened. He wasn't hexed, but nothing really happened from all the hexing Trump, which is what I suspect. Or worst case scenario, Trump, for whatever reason, was able to alchemize all the energy being thrown towards him, and then he got energized and fucking he was able to do with it and kind of bend it to his will. Kudos to him if he was able to do that, because that is some powerful magic shit. Either way, I'd just be like, maybe this is a sign that instead of doing magic to try to affect something outside of me, which has been shown not to work, okay, if I need to do it, I guess I can see it as self-care. And self-care is a very important thing, but is it actually going to work? Is it actually going to hex the person that I'm directing the hex towards? Probably not. And if that's the case, why waste that yummy energy? Why waste all that fuel for some dork-ass loser who's outside of me? Why not actually turn that and alchemize it within myself? Why not do magic for myself? So instead of hexing Trump and thus inadvertently blessing him, let me bless myself. Why don't we do that sort of magic? Bless yourself magic.
Okay, so now since we've gotten all the videos out the way, I can go ahead and insert my 2 cents right here. Alright, so look, YouTube, Divine Ones, this is how I feel about the whole situation. Basically, the magic that would have worked before and the witches couldn't get through is simply because of 5G. I don't know if anybody has noticed lately, but there's a difference in the spirituality realm right now, and this really makes me wonder if the spiritualists are really spiritual for real. Because if they haven't noticed the Schumann resonance has been spiking, therefore the energies has changed, and they haven't noticed the energies changed when they emitted 5G and then 6G and then all of the abilities for the Wi-Fi to act with us in certain ways. If they haven't noticed the frequencies of everything has been off, then they should know better. Second of all, the type of magic that is surrounding Trump and those that are in the White House and those that are able to be protected from things that should have, really did them some way, that magic is ancient. When I tell you ancient, I'm talking about ancient. They still have relics and talismans and things that hold certain energies that these witches out here. And to the young lady that made the first one, no one can really touch Trump in that realm. Like the person who shot Trump, you best believe they caught him when he was down. But now that he's in, know that he's gonna get there. He's gonna get there. And look, and lo and behold, Trump got there not once but twice. So sometimes y'all may want to pull back from trying to talk about Hex and Trump, because like old girl said, that energy vampire, he'll take all of it and just release it upon the world. So you have to be careful, and especially he's a dog. I think he's a Gemini too. I'm not quite sure what his sun sign is, but I know his Chinese sign is a dog, and he's in a snake year. And snakes and dogs do very well. So that's my video, my vote on this. The type of magic that they got going on in the White House, y'all witches, y'all don't have the talismans, y'all don't have the omens in the so-called Mark of the Covenant. Y'all don't have the technology, the upgrades. Y'all don't have the natural things, and you damn sure you really can't do nothing to him, because even if you're trying to use certain items to conjure up a hex or something, you have to really go to a certain spot to get those type of ingredients, because trying to get them at the stores now, you're going to be working with GMO and bio engineered fruits and vegetables, trying to conjure up something, and it's not going to work because it's engineered differently now. So the whole magic approach, you would have to probably go into like some real seriously warfare, like probably like astral project or astral travel to a certain realm where those beings or those archons that are ruling over that that airspace, that airway, that wormhole, that vortex that is the White House, you would have to probably go into some sort of spiritual out-of-body fight and get it to the root. Because one thing about it, even if like people trying to hex Trump, you're going to have to go deeper to get to Trump. Like, you know how you have these movies, right, where people try to like shoot one thing and they're like, no, you got to shoot the vampire that caused it all. So when you shoot the main vampire that caused it all, now everything else will, everything that he turned would then turn back to normal. So shooting at Trump or trying to hex at Trump is not going to get you your results. You need to get to that overlord, that overseer. And ain't nobody got the amount of strength in this day and age to do that. Especially those TikTok witches, these new age witches. They don't. So I hope y'all enjoyed my video today here, YouTube, because it's been a pleasure coming back and talking about something I like. Y'all know I could do this all day. If y'all got something that y'all want me to talk about, or any video y'all want me to get down on spiritually, I welcome it with open arms. So until next time, divine ones, it has been a pleasure here. It's your girl, Goddess Elizabeth, and I'm signing off today with Goddess with No Filter. And y'all stay up, stay favored, and stay highly anointed. I love y'all.